Hello and welcome back to Canadian Board Game Replays, my channel where I look at BGA games and add some commentation analysis and hopefully make for a more fun experience for you to watch. So we're doing Double Seven today. This is the second game in my series Journey from Bronze to Elite, where we follow my journey from in the arena mode from the Bronze to Elite, Bronze being lowest, Elite being the highest. This is game number 2. We have skipped over a couple games to get here, and let me show you what that looks like. So here is kind of the list of games to get from bronze to silver. So we started with the first game on the bottom, and now we're 4 games from the top. I skipped a couple of these in between games. It was just me losing badly, so I didn't think you need to see that. So we're down at the 4th game from the top, Rezo. So we can see this is going to be another loss. And then probably I'll do one more game and it'll probably be the one where I get silver. So you can watch as I progress. Looking back on this one, I'm already seeing a lot of progression from last time. So I think that's a good start. And for this one, what we're going to do in terms of getting you to comment, and I would like you to do that, to comment on what would you do next, is we're going to take the starting position. I go first here and going to see what you would do in terms of drawing and playing. So let's get to it. Okay, so here's our starting position. Given this is match 2 in our journey from bronze to elite, I'm not going to give really any information here on how the game is played. If you want that, either go back to my first video in the series, or you can follow the how-to link, which will be in the comments, which gives a little more tutorial. We're just going to dive into strategy and analysis and all that good fun stuff. So instead of having it mid-match, I want to do it at the beginning this time. I want to see what would you do in this situation. So I go first. So I've got squirrel, birds, and frog, and then we've got a bunny as the face-up card. What would you do in this situation in terms of drawing? So we've got to draw 2 cards. What would you do first? What would you do second? So just take a minute, think about it. If you can pause this and write in the comments, that will be awesome. Love to get more engagement with you guys, viewers and subscribers alike. So do that. I'll give it a couple of seconds, and then we'll move on to see what actually happened. So here we go. I'm going to hit pause now. I'm going to hit unpause now. Start play. So starting it off. All right. So I pulled the moose. So now what you should be seeing here is that you should see I have 4 different cards, and there's a different one in the face up. So what you should be thinking here, at least in tournament mode, is rainbow. So just recall rainbow is if you have 5 or more cards, all different colors, not including any clovers, you can hit rainbow and it gets you an additional card either from the face up if it's available or from the face down. And like we said in our last match, cards are points and points are wins. So that's what we want to focus on. So here I'm going to take the bunny. Okay, so now you can see the rainbow button becomes active above there. So I'm going to go rainbow, and then I get a squirrel. So now I'm going to put down the squirrels. So another thing I've learned from the previous game to this game in my mentality, and that I carry with me in this game quite strongly, is you only put down cards if you really have to, or if you can go out. If you can't go out, then you want to put down as few cards as possible to make sure you stay at 5 or below, because if anything above 5 you have to discard, and that's a waste. But you don't want to give your opponent too many cards they can swap with. So the more cards you put down, the more cards you're giving them to swap against. So in this situation, less is more. So I put down 2 squirrels, and I did that because I had 6 cards. So if I hadn't done that, I would have had to discard a card. And discarding a card is kind of like the anti-rainbow. You lose cards, you lose points, you lose games. So that's my starting position. Pretty much ideal. I executed the rainbow, got the extra card, put down 2 cards. Great starting position. So let's see how we go from here. So they're just going to draw 2 from the pile. So now putting on 2 frogs, pretty much in an identical position, except they couldn't do rainbow. So I'll continue on here. So I got 2 blues now, 2 oranges. Now you'll notice here that I swapped, and then I put down the frog. I kept both my 2 blues and 2 oranges on my board. I'm in my hand. So the reason for that is, again, if you don't have to play it, don't play it. Okay, so now we're drawing. Okay, so we look at it. So when you see this kind of happen, you think to yourself, okay, there's no moose on the board, so I'm not going to be able to go out this turn. So now, again, less is more. You want to get below 6, and that's what I do. There we go. So they played on all their cards, and now they are out. Yikes. We really need to get out quickly. Okay, so I'm drawing up here. Nothing too fancy. Can't do a whole lot yet. Yeah. So here I'm executing a 2-for-1, trying to get out. So let's talk about 2-for-1 right now. So in the tournament mode right now, there is a 2-for-1 option. So it means you can discard 2 cards from your hand to pick up 1 from either the draw pile or the face down pile. I think I probably mentioned this once before, but in terms of strategy, again, 2-for-1 is kind of like opposite rainbow. You lose cards. And like I say, you lose cards, you lose points, you lose games. So generally, the only time that I personally use 2-for-1 is when there's a chance to go out. Because then if you do go out, you recover that card the next turn, and hopefully, you keep going out and keep on that bandwagon or that trend. So that's what I did there. I executed. It didn't work. I got a bunny. They have 2 bunnies, but I have nothing to swap with them, so it didn't work out in my favor. But that was the thought pattern. Just if you don't wonder why I did that, I was trying to get out. And again, for me, that's the only time I use 2-for-1 is if I can get out. So let's keep going. So they're drawn up. They got to do 3 cards instead of 2. Not good for me, but they didn't get a lot of matches. And interesting here for them, if we look at their hand, they didn't decide to put down one of their bunnies. Now, in this situation, I would have done that. And the reason I do that is, I've got no 2s. So if you make it 3 cards, the odds of me being able to swap for it go down. So if that was me, I probably would have played that orange bunny down. But, whatever. Potato, potato. They've got their own way of doing things. No problem. Certainly not an awful play on their part. So they drew up here. Yeah, they got 4 bunnies now. So we're drawn up here. So again, my policy of only putting down cards when I have to. I didn't put down the 2 red foxes because that gives them another ability to trade. And as we see, they have a fox in their hand, so it's probably a good move if it stops them from getting that fox down. All right, we're getting close to the point where we can get out. Just need a couple cards to go our way here. They're swapping. They got their first 7 with the swans. Not great for us. Back to us. Still haven't managed to go out. Yikes. We do get our first 7 here. Okay, after their turn here, I'm just going to take a brief pause, just show where we're at score-wise. I think this game's pretty much over here. So that's going to give them the second 7, and then they're going to get the double 7. So if we look at this, at the end of their turn, so what's the score there? 24-18. So it's a 6-point difference. So basically impossible. Actually, I think technically it is impossible on my side. Maybe I can get some 7s, get some cards down. So there's a 7. That's good. Of course, I don't get the double 7 because only the first person who gets a double 7. So that's something. I went 2-for-1 again. I swapped. Frog. I got down all my cards finally, but alas, it is too little, too late. So thank you very much for joining us on this journey from Bronze to Elite. Just to show you again where we're at. So this was our game with Rezo. So it's 4th from the top. And then the next game I'm going to probably put on the channel is probably the last one at the very top there, the silver match with geez, I can't. My eyes are bad. I can't zoom in that much. Jilly's Mandate or Mendez. So that'll be the win that puts me in a silver. So we'll get to watch that one together. So thank you very much. Put any comments in the comment section. I love to engage with all of you. And if there are any ideas for other games you want me to cast or commentate, please do put them in there as well. And yeah, we've got a couple more games to get us to Elite, 1 more to silver, and then I'll have a new screenshot for you to show the path from silver to gold, and then we'll go with that as well. Again, thanks very much. If you haven't subscribed already, please do, so you can get notifications of when I post new content. Thank you very much. Have a good evening. Bye.